And so it's Christmas once again, and that means another video from me complaining about it. This time I'm focusing on the gift giving aspect. This applies not only to Christmas, but to just about any occasion where a gift is given, be it for a holiday or just a private occurrence. For this video I'll be using Christmas as my primary example though, because, well, it's Christmas. See, I really don't like gifts, which might seem bizarre considering it's basically just getting free stuff, and who doesn't like that? Well, I do, for several reasons. Now, I should start off by clarifying that I don't dislike the concept in and of itself. I give gifts from time to time, however, just like with tradition, I do so on my own terms. I'll elaborate on what these terms are later, but one thing I'll state right off the bat is that an important aspect of gift giving, in my mind, is that it's a selfless act. You do it because you appreciate someone and it's a sign of that appreciation. If you give someone a gift expecting something in return, it's no longer a gift, it's a transaction. Which is fine. It's perfectly alright to want something in exchange for something else, but you better state that up front. Don't give someone a quote-unquote gift with hidden strings attached. Make those strings nice and visible. When giving a gift you should not expect anything back, not even gratitude. Because for all you know, you may have chosen a gift that the recipient doesn't like, or you've chosen to give it to someone who isn't big on gratitude. That's simply the risk you run, and why I prefer to reserve gifts for people I know well enough to know what they like and that they will appreciate receiving it. Getting mad at someone for not liking your gift is insanely counterproductive. It goes against the very nature of the gesture. Christmas violates those rules in several ways. It is an especially dire offender in regards to what I believe gifts to be about. First of all, Christmas presents are very much transactions in most cases. You're expected to get everyone a gift, or they will get upset because you didn't get them something even though they did. It's an obligation more than a willing act. You're also generally expected to give gifts to people you hardly know. Distant relatives you don't even meet enough to know what they look like, let alone what they want for Christmas. Which only furthers the sense of obligation and also greatly increases the risk of getting a bad gift. I've lost count of how many iPhone accessories I've gotten from my older relatives, presumably operating on the mindset of, well, he's a youngin', so he probably wants fancy phone stuff. Meanwhile, as I'm recording this, I haven't even had a phone for several months because my previous one finally gave up and I haven't bothered getting a new one because I use it just that rarely. And even when I did use it, I never saw the need for a speaker or whatever. I like headphones, that way I don't bother people with the noise I make and they can't listen in on what I'm listening to. Now here comes of course the classic, why are you complaining about free stuff, you spoiled brat? And well, first of all, it's not free. It takes up space, something I don't have a lot of, and taking it back to the store takes energy, something I also don't have a lot of. But most of all, a bad gift has two social implications. Firstly, it puts you in the uncomfortable position of having to either lie to the gift giver's face and reluctantly accept the gift, only to secretly get rid of it later and hope they don't ask where it went, or telling them that you don't like the gift and rejecting it, risking them getting angry or just sad. Neither of those are desirable options. Secondly, a gift is a reflection of how well you know and care about someone. If you know someone well, you know what they like and will almost always select a good gift for them. And when you don't, you can at least tell them your thought process behind it, and it will probably make sense with only one or two miscalculations. They say it's the thought that counts after all, and I agree. But the thought I get from a bad gift is, I don't know or care about you enough to know what you like, I'm just giving you this out of social obligation. Which might seem harsh, you might say that there are good intentions behind it, but if there really was, I just want them to listen to me when I say I really do not need any gift from them. I much prefer it when someone doesn't give me a gift at all because they acknowledge we aren't close enough, because they're at least saving me the awkward situation of receiving an unwanted gift. I keep telling people around me that they have absolutely no obligation to give me anything for Christmas or my birthday or ever. The chances are I won't give them anything either, so it's only fair that they don't. And if they really insist on giving me something, even with all that in mind, they should ask me what I want to avoid getting something I'll dislike. That's another aspect of most gift giving I take issue with, the surprise element. Sure, I like surprises, but only pleasant ones, so if someone knows me well enough to get me something I'll be happy about receiving despite no input from me and it comes out of nowhere, well, great. That's nice. You know what's not nice? The fact that pretty much every bad gift is rooted in this element. Surprise gifts are almost inherently a gamble. You haven't asked the recipient if it's something they want or not, so when they get it, there's always a possibility that they'll be disappointed. Which is why I generally avoid that. Apparently for some people that ruins some of the magic, but I much prefer it if someone just tells me what they're planning to get me for Christmas so I can tell them, oh no, I wouldn't like that, maybe get me this or this instead. Now again, maybe that sounds entitled, but I must emphasize that I don't care if I receive a gift or not. No gift is better than a bad gift. Especially because, honestly, I almost always feel indebted when I get a gift. Even if the person assures me that there are no strings attached, some part of me feels inclined to give them something back anyway. Some part of me feels bad that I didn't get them anything. So by giving me nothing, at the very least they're ensuring I don't get that feeling. In a way, nothing is a kind of pleasant gift for me. This is what makes me dislike traditional gift giving. It feels obligatory. Gifts should not be expected. They should be reserved for people you want to give them to when you want to. Reserving a specific day for giving people gifts is an element I already don't like, because it makes people feel left out and not appreciated when they don't receive anything, even though on pretty much any other day of the year they wouldn't mind. It also might make them appreciate getting a gift less because they anticipate it as part of the holiday social contract. For this reason, I don't like to tie gift giving to any specific day. I do tend to get my friends Christmas gifts, but that's mostly because everything's on sale around this time of year, so it's just a good time to get them stuff I've been wanting to get them anyway. I make sure there's a consensus between us that I might not necessarily give them anything for Christmas and I don't expect anything from them. In fact, I find that a very common form of gift giving for me is hearing that a friend is considering buying something, but they don't know if it would be a smart decision economically, and then I might ask them if they want me to buy it for them. No surprise, no special occasion, just noticing that they want something and offering your help in getting it for them. It's a very safe kind of gift because it gives them the opportunity to decline and even offer to meet you halfway, paying for part of the thing while you pay for the rest, or agree to some other compromise. That might seem rather cold and businesslike, but at least in my friend circle it worked quite well. Partly because I happen to be friends with people who also feel indebted when receiving gifts, so a surprise gift may be cause for discomfort even if they like it. I just don't like gift raping people, man. Speaking of gift raping and gift wrapping, that's a bit of a nitpick I have with Christmas gifts. The wrapping. I don't like it. I don't like unwrapping presents. It was fun back when I was a kid and still got a kick out of causing property damage, but at this point it just feels like an arbitrary obstacle between me and the gift, and I would rather just be handed it in its standard form. I've told people many times that I don't want my gifts wrapped. Doing so wastes their time and mine, so it's a lose-lose situation. And still I continue to receive wrapped gifts. They don't listen to me because ultimately the gifts aren't about me, they're about tradition. The gifts are wrapped because that's tradition. I receive gifts despite not wanting them because that's tradition. They don't ask me in advance because spoiling the surprise would go against the tradition. That means that even when receiving a gift I do like, I can't really bring myself to feel that grateful about it. Because it doesn't feel like it's something I got because the person appreciates me and wants to show their appreciation with a gift. If they did, they would respect my wishes in other regards. I've criticized bad gifts a lot so far, so I'll wrap this rant up with a story about how much a more impactful, a truly thoughtful gift can be compared to an arbitrary one, even when the gift in and of itself isn't that great. How much it really is the thought that counts. I was visiting Luna at the time and she gave me a Jack Skellington shirt she bought at Disneyland. Now, I like The Nightmare Before Christmas and there's a lot of cool merch for it, but this shirt in particular, I didn't like it. I don't like the commercialized version of Jack who smiles goofily in a way he never did in the movie, and it's basically his version of what every Disney princess goes through. I've received this kind of gift before. Shirts, books, CDs, all based on the shallow thought process of, well, he likes this thing, so he'll like this tangentially related thing. But I don't, because they don't know why I like the thing, and therefore they don't realize that the gift doesn't overlap with my interest. It's the same old case of knowing someone on a superficial level and thus getting them a superficial gift. I was used to that at this point, but I expected my girlfriend at the time to know better. As such, I tried to bring this up in the nicest way I could, basically saying, well, this shirt is nice, but I'm not sure about the background, and what's with his face? And Luna immediately knew exactly what I was talking about, responding as if she had been anticipating me pointing it out. Oh yeah, I know, it looks stupid, but there wasn't any shirt that looked right, and I wanted to get you something. And then we went on to have a brief talk about how the shirt could have been easily improved by changing the expression and putting something actually from the movie in the background instead of trying to draw more attention to the fact that it's a Disney product. Just like that, she had turned the gift around. She demonstrated that she knew me well enough to understand the flaws in the gift and explain her reasoning for why she got it anyway. That shirt is still one of my favorites, because now it's not just a silly looking piece of commercialized merch, it's a symbol of how well Luna understands me and how much she cares. On days when we got any sort of activity planned together, I tend to wear it. Even though 99% of the time she never even notices because it all happens over chat or voice call. It's just a nice reminder of our history together. That's what giving gifts is about to me. Like I said earlier, gifts are a reflection of your relationship with someone. Not just whether or not you got them something they like, but how much thought you put into it and how much you respect their preferences when it comes to gift giving. Whether it's people not liking their gifts wrapped, not liking surprise gifts, or even not wanting to receive gifts at all. or if they do want all those things. To bring things back to where we started, I believe gifts to be a selfless act, which means that the recipient's wishes should be top priority. How, when, why, and if you give a gift can be just as important as the gift itself. If you like giving or receiving Christmas gifts not out of a sense of obligation but because you actually enjoy it, lovely. There's nothing inherently wrong with the way Christmas handles gifts, and just like any tradition, it can be tweaked and customized to your own liking. The issue arises when people around you have a set idea of what it should be like and don't respect your disagreements with that. So don't be those people. If you like someone enough to give them a gift and it really is because of that and not because you feel like you have to, I don't think it should be much to ask that you're also willing to consider some of the things I've talked about here and make sure that the gift recipient is on board with your way of going about it. And with that, I guess it's customary to wish you all a happy Christmas and a Merry New Year, whether I actually mean it or not. Thanks for sticking with this shell of a channel for another year.